Welcome, Virgo, to your March Astro Dice reading. Hope you friends are doing great out there. If you friends like this, please hit that big old like button and subscribe. Okay, guys, let's see what's going on with you. Best messages coming out for the month. For those of you who are new, this is where I take tarot with astrology and make a small horoscope for the month using only one of the 12 houses. So let's see what best house is coming out with best message, please. Got the moon coming out. Ooh, some Virgo energy. Going straight into the 5th house. Nice. So with that moon coming out, talk about your unconscious, sensitive inner emotions and responses. With some Virgo energy. This energy around you is dutiful, hesitant, and humble with a discriminating, diligent, and painstaking air. So, yeah, be very busy. Busy. Going straight into the 5th house of love and romance. Love it and creativity. So, where you have fun, romance, and create things you are proud of. Loving that 5th house right now. Okay, let's see what's going on with you. Getting straight into it. We're talking about the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. Best messages, please, coming out. So feeling a little sensitive when it comes to the 5th house. I like that. But I also like that the moon also is talking about that intuition as well. So let's not forget about the other things the moon represents, right? Intuition, secretive things, things that may be even hidden from sight, right? Things that I might not see that could also cause those inner emotions and responses. But also feeling a little humbled by the situation, but yet there could be something that is kind of painstaking that maybe you need to, be humble about. Ooh. So let's see what's going on here. We have the Page of Pentacles coming out. So there's talking about reflection. Well, we have the moon and it's coming underneath that reflection. So reflecting upon a situation. There could be some kind of news that you need to reflect on. The Page of Pentacles is bringing in this news. They're saying, I'm giving you this news that you might be very ambitious about, causing this ambitious response, right? Because the moon wants you to respond. But it also could be something that's saying, I'm reflecting upon this situation to where I'm giving a lot of sensitivities to the situation. But this is definitely moving to calmer waters and could be ending a relationship. It says your relationship is ending. So this is releasing some kind of baggage, moving on, changing, transitioning from the situation in itself. So whatever this news is, ooh. For some of you, it could be a third-party situation. 3 is a crowd. It could also be gossip, something that's going to literally want you to have this understanding of what's going on around you and leaving this behind. So whatever this situation is, this news is saying, this news is telling me that I am reflecting upon this, but it's giving me the ambitious drive to want to move on, right? From this third party, from this gossip, from this overindulgence, from this situation, right? Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but it's definitely giving you that validation. I really do believe that. I think it was the validation that you were looking for. You needed this validation, right? From this Taurus, Capricorn. It could be, or it could be from a Gemini or a Libra, but you're looking for this validation and it's going to really be good for you, right? It's going to give you introspective, but I think that's going to be okay though. Yes, because it's going to give you new opportunities, new ways of looking at things, finding the purpose. So I think this actually is kind of its own blessing in its own way. I think there was something that was standing in the room right? Just a metaphor, right? Standing in the way, something standing there saying, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this situation, but this is going to change everything. This is going to say, this is the news that I've been looking for. This is what I needed to hear, right? Maybe you manifested it. This is a manifestation card. This is wishful thinking. So maybe it was something you were manifesting. Maybe you were, I need my intuition to stay as open as I can, but there's something hidden from this situation. And when this person finally comes in, it was exactly what you needed. You needed that validation. You needed that calling. You needed this self-awareness because there was something there that says, I'm not sure. My intuition's just not really picking up on it, but I think Either that, or you could say, my intuition was right all this time. And maybe I was kind of ignoring it, because the Judgment in reverse is kind of like ignoring the call, needing that validation, not 100% going on what you truly were, right? Having that gut feeling. Maybe you wanted to, for some of you, maybe you were trying to ignore the gut feeling, saying, I don't want that to be real, right? I will know when it's real when I actually hear something about the situation. So I do feel like it was kind of the back and forth, right, between the analytical thinking of, oh, I don't know, to, but my gut feeling keeps telling me. So this, yes, is exactly what you needed. This is, right, no more delays, no more feeling weighed down. You're understanding where this lack of passion from them is coming from, where the lack of passion for the situation is coming from. And now you're saying, I'm not going to go after this. I'm going to move away from this. It literally is telling me exactly what I needed to know. If you were having lack of communication from the situation, this person is coming to they're coming to tell you the ultimate truth, okay, about the situation, no matter what. Whether it was something that you're creatively trying to do, or whether it's a romance and a passion of a person, take it how it resonates, right? Into the mid-month please. Ooh. This person that you're dealing with is very cold about the situation. They might even be trying to use their inner feelings, and they're being very ashamed about the situation. They may have felt, you may have felt like they have violated your trust, your love. So there is definitely this, craving. They're kind of craving for this immediate kind of attention from you as you're pulling away from them. But you're going to see that they do have a lot of kind of moodiness going around with it. You're watching, you're focused, you see this, but they're also very focused on you, right? And this is because you feel like there was some kind of shattered dream when it comes to this situation, causing this domestic disharmony, this struggling relationship. I feel like for a lot of you, this is a relationship no matter what. It could be breaking up the family, especially you have the Three of Cups in reverse, which means there could be a third party situation, where there's third party doesn't even have to be a person. It could be they're over drinking, overspending, gambling, lying, and saying that they're going somewhere they're not supposed to go. In its own way, right? Using that other, maybe they're hanging out with a best friend that they know they're not supposed to be around because they're, maybe they're a bad influence. You see what I'm saying? Something could be a bad influence around them. And it does feel, clarify on, yep, there it is too, overspending. For some of you, it's overspending, feeling very self-centered. Obstacles are in the way, right? And now you know what the obstacle is. But it's almost like to the point where it's either they're very ashamed of the situation and they're trying to get your attention, telling you they won't do this anymore, even though it keeps popping up, or something of this nature, or they're ignoring the situation. But no matter what, they're in self-protection mode. That's for sure. So, but it all has to come with them not communicating. Is a lot of the moodiness and the overprotection and the all of this and over sensitivities when it comes to the moon is coming out, and it's actually causing more of a conflict. So it's causing more of a bad communication than, I would say, a mature conversation. So it might feel a little immature, unstable. They're very unstable, not where they should be, right? So it's going to be hard. How am I going to have a conversation with you when your emotions are so unstable that you can't really sit down with me and speak with me about the situation? And this is all because of bad news. The Page of Wands is bad news, right? So they're being very focused on the past, trying to bring up nostalgic things. And it's almost like you're saying, and we're not going to do that. You're detaching from that kind of behavior. You're detaching from those things because you're saying, no, you're more inspired, right, to take on what it is you need to take on now. Okay, so you're craving more freedom, okay, now from that situation. With the shattered dreams, yeah, They're lying to you, betraying you, feel like you're, you know, they're just, everything they're saying you just feel is very dishonest, and you feel like nothing that they're saying, even coming out of their mouth, is completely true or honest. So you do feel like they're trying to trick you into a bad situation, trying to get away with something, trying to make it not look as bad as it was, something of this nature with the Seven of Swords, right? So you do feel like you're a bit burned out on this situation. There's going to be a lot of stress and a lot of stagnation. You might even put yourself into kind of an isolation mode, right? Because I don't want to deal with this right now, because you're just kind of closing the chapter over here, and not inspired to have this conversation anymore, because you don't feel like the conversation is going the way it should be going. If we're, you know, if we are going to have this conversation, I would like to see a little bit more than what you're giving, right? Because what you're giving me doesn't feel real. It feels like you're getting what you want to get out of the situation, but you're pushing away my feelings. So I'm definitely feeling that. Okay, so not taking your feelings into accountability at this time. It's more about the me. Look at how this is affecting me. And you're like, okay, it's not just affecting you. Look at how it's affected me. But they're not seeing this, right? They're not, like I said, putting your feelings into any perspective. With the Justice over here, you might be thinking about having a divorce, cutting ties. You are feeling like, you know what, I want the fairness and the justice for myself, right? So definitely feeling like this needs to have a huge turnaround, okay, when it comes to this situation, because you're not feeling any kind of justification out of this situation at all. Whoa. Okay, so you don't feel like this is very fair, right? It was supposed to be the 50-50 rule. You give and I give back, but they're not doing that. The scales are tipping in the wrong direction, okay? So you feel like you've been wronged, right? And it's time you're kind of retaliating from the situation, okay? So right, you might even be kind of ignoring the situation. You do feel like the grass is not green on the situation anymore. The grass has died in this situation. You're not feeling the pleasure. You're not feeling the love. You're not feeling the passion from them. If anything, you've lost the faith within this relationship. You can't. There's no trust. When you lose trust within a situation, then you're definitely, right, not going to push yourself towards that person. If anything, you're isolating around. You might feel like this is also the card, guys, of being tempted and lured away. Okay, so you might feel like they were in a third party situation and they were being tempted and lured into the trappings of another person, right? That's third party situation as well. Okay, that's a cheating card. Okay. So this is also the card also of, how do we say that? It's like the grass isn't greener over here, but when it comes to somebody else, it's almost like to the point where it's like they might be cheating, but they don't realize that the grass isn't any greener where they're going either. Right? So they may have jumped the pasture over there into dirt, right? You're like, you know what? I had green grass, but you jumped into, you know, a pasture of dirt, right? That person didn't even have anything. But more than anything, it's just the core values of the whole situation. You feel like the person's lost their value, okay? And they've taken advantage of you, okay? And in seriousness, it's also a card of you were trying to play me as stupid, right? And I'm not stupid. Absolutely, I'm not stupid. So there it is. The breakup, the distrust, and causing a lot of tension within the situation. Okay, so yeah, definitely feeling like you did this. You know, I do feel like for some of you, right, you may have dealt with this before, something of this nature, or maybe you've never dealt with this ever. It doesn't matter, right? But it's caused so much tension that you're going through this separation. It might even be in the end that, you know, it's become so bitter, right? And it might also be mutual. Sometimes with the Two of Cups in reverse, it becomes a mutual, we're done, right? Why? Because everybody's so bitter about the situation that they're just kind of like, well, then I'm done. And you're like, good, I'm done too. So I take up my welcome mat. You're not welcome right here anymore in my heart, space. So then it becomes a mutual, because the fight becomes mutual. Oh, absolutely. So it's almost like the only thing that you could agree on within this situation was agree to disagree. The only thing you could really agree on within this situation was exactly like I said. Fine, then I'm out of here. Fine, goodbye. See, that was it. That was letting you come to the conclusion of, right, for the majority of you, was that the only thing that you had in common was the it's over, right? So this is talking about the completion and finding the completion, respecting each other's differences, understanding what's going on, like I just said, that mutual goodbye, okay, so that you can continue to develop and grow within, you know, within yourself, right? So it's like boop, putting yourself first. Okay, this one's going to have to be, right, because that could have just been what you felt was a simple conversation that you were going to have, that you wanted to have with them, that all of a sudden led to a massive disagreement. And that was just because somebody, I think that they just don't want to 100% tell the truth. Maybe they're trying to blame it on someone else, or they're trying to tell you it's not what you think, something like that, and it just ends up cutting. It just cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts until it's just disappointments. And it might even end up in emotional immaturity when you're under the moon. So they have their own kind of self-limiting beliefs when it comes to the situation. They don't want to open up to what your perspective is, but we've seen that over here, right? So yeah, there it is. I'm going to go soul search and be alone. Okay, so, ooh, alrighty. Well, and let's get some angel messages. I would have to say on this one that for the majority of your intuition was spot on. You knew what was going on in the situation. You just needed that heads up. There's something better, Spirit says. Okay? So don't stop going where you're going, because there is something better coming your way. Okay? And that was it for you, my friends. Until next time, peace and love. Bye-bye.